All right, Mosse, Sweet 16. We have our 16 when it comes to Champions League. Now, you want to just kind of go through all the matchups? Now, keep in mind, this is not starting back up until what, February?
Correct.
So we got a long time. All sorts of stuff can happen, but we're still going to look at the matchups and give you what we think are some of the tastier ones, at least from a December 14th, 2020 perspective. But we all know things change with injuries and coaching changes and the transfer window and all sorts of stuff. All right, Mosse, you want to start reading them off?
Well, this is me going top of my head. Because
okay, then I got it. Let me do it. I'll do it for you, and I'll get your reaction.
I could have done it.
No. Oh, okay, now you want to show off, right? Is that what? No. I'm going to do it. Here. All right. So first up, Gladbach versus Man City. Thoughts?
Oh, we're going individually, huh?
Yeah, let's do that. But just too quickly. Not long thoughts, Mosse. Just big.
City clearly the favorites, but I wouldn't put it past Pep to overthink that first leg in Germany and come back with a loss and then have to turn it around in the Etihad, which would be very tense for them. So City the favorites, but I give Gladbach a puncher's chance.
Not very sexy though matchup. This isn't the one with the allure for me. All right, and yes, I would pick Man City too. All right, Lazio, Bayern Munich.
This is the one matchup where I would be completely flabbergasted if the favorite didn't win. I mean,
so this is this is the mismatch for you.
Yeah, this is the biggest mismatch. Every other one, you do find other matchups where there's a clear favorite, but the favorite is just flaky enough, or the underdog is just frisky enough where I wouldn't say it's a complete 100% banker. This one is 100% banker to me. I can't see a world where Lazio eliminates Bayern Munich, with all due respect.
I can't either. Atletico, Chelsea.
It's interesting. Right?
That's the next one. Yeah.
This was a throwback to the days when it made a big difference whether you finished first or second in your group in terms of getting an easier matchup in the round of 16. Because UEFA, they changed the way the pots are determined for the group stage draw. And so the domino effect of that is in the last 2 or 3 years, it sort of mitigated the difference between finishing first and second in your group. But this season, you did feel there was a difference. You looked at the pot 1 teams, you looked at the pot 2 teams, and you said, oh, wow, the group winners are much stronger, and you want to be in that group so you don't have to face those teams, and you can face one of these pot 2 teams. Although this was the one instance where it didn't play out that way, because Chelsea and Sevilla were in the same group. They both quickly clinched around the 16 berth. So it just became a question of who would finish first, who would finish second. Chelsea ended up finishing first thanks to that 4-0 win in Spain, Giroud scoring the 4 goals. And you thought, okay, they must have set themselves up better for the round of 16. But lo and behold, they draw Atletico Madrid while Sevilla draw Dortmund. So I would argue Sevilla actually got the better draw despite finishing second in the group. So yeah, this is a very tough draw for Alex Dowd's Chelsea. I like this Atletico Madrid team a lot. This is like at best a toss-up for Chelsea, and you could even argue Atletico are slight favorites here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Atletico too. I didn't have Chelsea coming out of the group, so eventually it's got to come good, right? And I'm not. It's not that I don't like Chelsea. Obviously, I love watching Chelsea, especially because of. Not obviously, but I do love watching Chelsea, but especially because of Christian Pulisic, who may or may not be on the field. we don't know how that goes from game to game. But yeah, I think okay. All right, so you're going to go with Madrid too, right?
Yeah. Again, I mean, these predictions.
Exactly, and they're going to change as we go on. But your initial one is to go with.
Yeah, if these games were held right now, I guess.
Okay. Leipzig versus Liverpool.
Fantastic. Really looking forward to this. And Klopp against Nagelsmann. I like this Leipzig team. They've dealt with the loss of Timo Werner better than I thought they would. So this is a dangerous matchup for Liverpool. I'll pick Liverpool, but it's not with a lot of conviction. It would not shock me if Leipzig took them out.
We should probably mention that we were coming on the air and Gerard Houllier passed away. And so, such a huge influence out there in the coaching world, and the impact that he has made, both directly and indirectly, is undeniable. And so rest in peace to one of the greats. Okay, so you're going to go with who? Liverpool, right?
Liverpool, yeah.
Okay, I will also go to Liverpool. All right, we haven't deviated yet. Porto, Juventus.
Yeah, Juventus, firm favorites here, but I don't say it's 100% banker, because they got knocked out by Lyon at this stage last season. They went out to Ajax 2 years before that. They've been just flaky enough recently in the Champions League, and even flaky enough a little bit this season, struggling against teams like Benevento. And I thought Porto actually looked pretty good in the group stage, finishing second to City in their group. So Juve solid favorites, but I'd give Porto a puncher's chance.
If just in a big if Pogba were to go to Juventus, would he be ineligible to play in Champions League?
UEFA did away with that.
Nothing. All right, so he's okay. All right, good. All right, so and that has been bandied about as a potential, which obviously would not obviously, but it might not be great for Weston McKennie, but I digress. Okay, so I'm definitely going with Juventus.
Although Weston McKennie is be tough to get out of the lineup at this point, the way he's playing. And let me stop there for a second. I mentioned the whole finishing first versus second in your group, and how in the case of Chelsea, Sevilla, it didn't matter that much.
Right.
In the case of Juventus, it did matter. Barcelona and Juventus went into that matchday 6 clash at Camp Nou, both having qualified. The only thing that was up in the air there was who would finish first, who would finish second. And you thought Barcelona were in great shape because they had beaten Juve 2-0 in Turin, and head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. So Juve had to beat them by a better score than that. Well, lo and behold, they did. They go in there, they win 3-0. Ronaldo scores twice from the penalty spot. I'm told Weston McKennie also scored in that game. I don't know because all I saw was the Sports Center highlights of it. So Juve end up finishing first in the group. Barca dropped down to second, and you wonder, okay, is this going to make a big difference with the draw? Well, it did, because Juve drew Porto and Barca drew PSG, which we're going to get to in a minute. So there's a case where the first versus second thing was really significant.
Okay, so you're going with Juventus.
Yeah.
I am going with Juventus too. And now we get to, as you mentioned, I think the biggest matchup and the one that is most interesting and enticing, which is Barcelona and PSG. PSG perennial failures as they go for the Holy Grail and unable to attain it, and Barcelona in a year that continues to look like this is Barcelona in name only. Where do you come out on this one, Mosse?
Well, you mentioned PSG's Champions League failures. The most spectacular of them all was in 2017 against Barcelona, when they won the first leg 4-0 in Paris and then lost 6-1 at Camp Nou, the biggest second leg turnaround in Champions League history. And you might remember the Barcelona player who really was the catalyst for that second leg comeback was Neymar, who then turned around a few months later and left Barcelona that summer to go to PSG for 222 million euros, which remains the biggest transfer in history. So this is the first matchup between these two teams since then. Neymar obviously is going to be the big story, but amazingly enough, this matchup is occurring against the backdrop of all these rumors now of Messi potentially going to PSG. And Sid Lowe even half joke today, but there was a little bit of seriousness to it. He said, I wonder which team Messi will be playing for come February, because, there is this thought that, if Messi lets Barcelona know that he's definitely leaving at the end of the season, why not try to cash in January, right? And get some money for him? And if PSG are now at the front of the line of teams he might go to, but let's say that doesn't happen and Messi is on Barcelona. Yeah, this is a really interesting one. Look, there are some heavyweights there were some heavyweights in pot one that Barcelona in their current state, I think, absolutely could not beat. Teams like Bayern and Liverpool. PSG, I would not put in that category. I think PSG are the better team. I think they're favorites here, but they're just flaky enough themselves. They've been a bit all over the place this season. Tuchel can't get the tactics right. They're kind of relying on just the individual quality of their players. And, we know the way they're snake bitten with injuries in the Champions League. So let's see if come February, Neymar and Mbappe are even healthy and playing. And so there's a lot of uncertainty hanging over this matchup. I would lean PSG, but it's not with a lot of conviction. This is actually like Barcelona, even in their current state, this is a team where I could see them beating over 2 legs.
I'll go with Barcelona. All right. If you're going to lean PSG, then I'll go with Barcelona. But yes, this is the one that immediately you're attracted to for all of the reasons that you mentioned. Okay. Sevilla and Dortmund. Dortmund on the heels of firing Lucien Favre. But by the time that this game rolls around, whoever is newly installed will have had a little time to.
Although it sounds like they're just going to go with an interim manager the rest of the season.
Okay, but that's still a little time to do what they need to do. It's not as if you got to turn around and play the game next week.
Yeah, again, if assuming Haaland is back and healthy, I think just on talent alone, I would lean Dortmund. But this is a pretty even one. I think Dortmund are only slight favorites.
And then the final one, Atalanta versus Real Madrid. I'm going with Real Madrid.
Yeah, again,
crazy. I'm going
Atalanta, not the same Atalanta from last season. And I think Real Madrid are solid favorites here. But I won't say like Bayern, Lazio level favorites, only because Real Madrid have been a bit flaky. They lost twice to Shakhtar in the group stage. They had some bad results in La Liga, just lost to Alaves. So, they're not 100% reliable either. So I give Atalanta puncher's chance there.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.